Hello, everyone.
Hi guys, how you
Welcome.
going? Good to have you
Well,
here today.
yeah, great to have everyone here today. Welcome to our first webinar of 2026. This is something that we're planning on doing a few times over the course of the year. So hopefully you
Mhm.
guys get some value from today.
Absolutely, just helping you guys to use Nookle to the maximum ability it has, and also help you guys save time and admin and get paid faster. That's sort of some of the things we're talking about today. So it should be good.
Yeah, I'll start by introducing myself to those who I haven't come across, who haven't met me. My name's Sarah Howard. I am our client relationship officer at Nookle. I am a physio by trade and did run a physio clinic for a decade. And so I definitely have some real world experience, and I've been working at Nookle helping everyone else use Nookle to its full capacity.
Yeah, my name's Darren. I am also a physio. I did 23 years in practice and had a couple of clinics, and I with my business partner 12, 13 years ago started Nookle. So it's been going for a while, and really we just want to help you guys make life easier in the clinic so you can help your patients.
Yeah. All right. Oh, sorry, guys. That was my mouse going a little bit crazy. There's a vision into the future for everyone. All right. An outline for today. So we've got about a 45-minute presentation for you. We'll take some questions at the end. Please feel free to add questions to the Q&A box, and we will anticipate answering as many of those as we can at the end of the session. After the session is completed today, we will send an email out to everyone with a link to be able to watch the session again on demand. There'll also be some additional resources included in that as well.
Yeah, that's good.
All right, so today's agenda. So we're going to talk about why automation matters. We're going to run through some bookings and admin automation, payment automation, some reporting and dashboards as well. And then we'll go through a bit of a workflow as to what to implement first in the clinic. And like I said, we'll get to some
Mm.
Q&As at the end.
So we've tried to sort of make a flow for you guys, and you'll see that as the webinar goes on of steps you can take and some practical things you can apply.
Yeah. So the core problem, so most clinics, clinic owners, they are not short
Mm.
on effort, definitely not, but definitely short on time and system sometimes. Often admin is spending too much time on the phone, double entry,
Hmm.
patients missing their appointments or rescheduling late because they forgot they had an appointment, um,
Hmm.
invoicing going out not in a timely fashion for a lot of people, and then reporting existing but not really utilized well and therefore not being used to drive business decisions.
And we've got some really cool things coming up in Nookle that will help with all of those things Sarah just said.
So, what does good look like? So, a well automated clinic should make it really easy for your clients and patients to book,
Hmm.
reduce preventable no-shows. And I guess the preventable is the kind of keyword there.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, clinics will always have some no-shows, but it's the preventable ones, the people that just simply forgot they had an appointment. Like, what can
Mm.
you do to make sure that communication is automated around that?
That's right,
Um,
Sarah. That's good.
yeah, collecting your revenue earlier as well.
Hmm.
And what systems can you put in place to get those invoices out earlier?
Yeah,
Numbers,
that's right.
metrics are being actually used to make those business decisions. And then you're freeing up your admin time so they can spend time with the people that are standing in front of them or for more high value work as well.
Yeah, that's right. It's good, Sarah.
Awesome. So this is the framework that we've developed. Yeah. So the booking, so filling calendars, reducing admin, payments, getting paid faster, reducing bad debt,
Hmm.
reducing issues where bad debt gets rejected from, say, third-party payers, and then reporting. Really important. Measure what's important and act on it.
So what we'll do is if you have a look at those three steps, everyone, so you can see the bookings is firstly, it's your calendar. Getting your calendar as full as possible without as much admin. And then once the calendar's full, getting paid on time. And then once you have get get your calendar full, reduce the no-shows or the preventable no-shows, as Sarah talked about, and getting your payments done in time, in a timely fashion, will present, three or four reporting metrics that you can look at that will help you make those decisions. So I guess let's move on to part one, Sarah.
Yep, and we're going to put a couple of polls up during the course of today. We'd love it if you could quickly answer. They're just one question polls, just so we get a bit of an idea of where people are sitting and the challenges that are being faced. So our first poll's coming up now. If people could answer that, that would be amazing.
That'll help us
Um,
on.
yeah.
And we're all about listening to you guys and working with you to make Nookle better. So that's one of the reasons why we're doing this and taking a couple of polls today. So as we talked about, part one, we're going to be looking at bookings and admin automation, how you can fill your calendar to the maximum occupancy, how you can reduce your DNAs, and also getting patients' information before you get to the clinic, getting them in to the slots they want, so to save you guys time. So we'll talk through four workflows now that can help that.
Sorry. Awesome. All right. Um, First of all, the hidden cost of manual bookings, right? So manual bookings, unnecessary phone calls, double handling by reception, poor reminder consistency can occur, incomplete
Hmm.
intake forms, and then avoidable gaps in the diary. So that's the hidden cost of not having some automation around this. And then we'll look at, so the first kind of workflow is online bookings. Now, often people aren't aware there's online bookings available, or they have online bookings set up, but they haven't gone and done an audit of what that online booking setup has been set up. It might have been set up years ago. You've added different services and those type of things. So it's always a good idea. Go into your Nookle
Yeah.
account, check the settings that you've got there. Are you happy? Are all of your services available that you want available? But it's really important to have it available on your website, somewhere clear on as many pages as you can. So when someone lands on your website, the book online button is right there in front of their face. They're able to choose, services and practitioners that they want to book in with. You're able to set lead times and buffer rules so that you have some control over when people can book in, how much notice you get, those type of things. And the cancellation link is important as well. Make sure that people, if they do make that booking, they are able to cancel it themselves without having to go through your admin team. And
Yeah.
that is all dictated around that cancellation window that you can set in your Nookle account. And one final piece of that puzzle, which I think is really exciting, is the ability to use deposits where appropriate. This is becoming more and more common across industry, essentially, right? And so we now offer the ability for you to add a deposit feature for your online bookings so that people must
Really
put that
good.
deposit down when they're
Mhm.
making the booking. Again, preventing no shows from occurring. If someone's,
That's right.
making an online booking, they've paid a deposit, they're going to show up
Yeah, that's
the
right.
vast majority of the time. So that's really important to know that that's available in your account, and that will enable people to be compliant with regards to that booking that they've made.
Sarah, just on that note, it's like when you go out to a restaurant, you put your credit card down to reserve your spot. Same thing cross industries. We want people to reserve their spot with you guys because you're valuable in what you do as practitioners. So you need to make sure you can take a deposit so they reserve that slot with you.
Yeah, that's exactly right. If we look at this now, the second workflow there is our confirmation and reminder cadence. Yeah. So this is one of the easiest automations to set up to help reduce your no-shows. So there's a couple of things that you should set up. Which is the first thing is instant booking confirmations. Yeah. So when someone
Yeah.
makes an appointment, they get automatically sent a message to say, hey, thanks for booking. Here are the details of your booking. You can set that up in Nookle as an appointment confirmation under the communication section, as an email or an SMS that will automatically go out. You've then got the ability to set those reminders, appointment reminders, messages that go out before your consultations. And what we recommend here is to set two, to set one 24 hours before. So that people
Hmm.
often make bookings, they don't make note of it in their calendars. One the day before. So they're like, oh, yes, I've got that. Yes, I remember. And then the morning of as well. So the same day. And then make sure your messages are short, sharp, concise, very neutral with just relevant information.
I think this is really important in society today because everyone's busy. So having that cadence, and that's what we're talking about. You got your online bookings, which you've got your deposits. That's a big plus for you guys. Now, workflow number two, giving people enough notice because we're all busy. That cadence of 1 to 2 reminders to let them know, hey, the appointment's coming up. That's going to increase your occupancy. So that's good.
Absolutely. Digital intake forms.
Hmm.
Gone are the days of having to have a paper form where you made people turn up 15 minutes before their consultation. They sat there, filled it out, hand it to your admin team. Admin team would then have to decipher their handwriting and manually enter that information
Right.
in. Right. What we
Yeah.
want to do now is digitize this. Yeah. So you can set up, you should be able to, well, you can in Nookle, but if you're using another software, you should be able to set up a digital intake form that you can then send out to your clients as needed. Really important to understand that you really just want to include the information that matters. Yeah. If the form is too laborious, people might not complete it, right? So making sure include relevant information, contact details, reason for visit, maybe some key history,
Mhm.
informed consent. How do they want to receive communication from you? You can have additional stuff around funding and stuff like that if you feel that that's necessary for the type of clients that you see.
Mhm.
Within your Nookle account, you'll be able to do this with our digital intake forms and with our client portal soon. Important to note with our digital intake forms that there are two methods of importing that information into the client's profile. You can either set the form up so that as soon as someone returns the form, Nookle just automatically updates the client's profile for you. You don't have to do anything. We'll just send you a notification in your notification center on the right-hand column of your account to say, hey, we've updated this client's profile for you. Or if you want a little bit more control over the client profile changing, you can set up the form so that it does require your staff approval. And basically, what will happen is the form will be returned into your Nookle account. You'll get a notification. You'll review the information that the changes that have been made, and you can approve that. And then Nookle will import that information into the client's profile for you. So you've got some flexibility around how you want that process to run.
And the big benefit of this one, guys, is that you're saving admin time. So basically, you're saving the time to collect the information prior, and it goes automatically into your PMS system or your EMR system, and then it's there ready to go once you start treating the patient, and saves time from the front desk. So it's good.
Yeah, and errors as
Yeah,
well.
that's right.
Email errors and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good.
Awesome. All right. So let's talk about the final kind of workflow in this first section, and that's around wait lists, recalls, and gap filling. So we're always going to have cancellations. We're always going to have people pulling out, maybe the day before and whatnot, and it's how you fill those spots. So we
That's right.
obviously have waitlist functionality within Nookle.
Mhm.
I definitely recommend trying to fill in as much information. Obviously, the client, who they want to see, time, their availability type of consultation. But what you can also set up, which not everyone is aware of in a Nookle account, is a recall. So a recall is another automated communication, and they're
Yep.
messages that go out after consultations. Yeah, they can go out after first or last services. They're a great re-engagement tool. You might set up what I see a lot of people setting up, and what discussions I have when I'm onboarding new customers is we're setting up, 6 week or 3 month recalls after their last service with you. It's a nice nurturing tool,
Mm,
re-engagement tool. Put a
great.
link to your online bookings in that message as well. So people don't even have to go to your website. You can generate a URL link. You can pop that in there, and then people can rebook an appointment if they've been meaning to. A lot of people are like, oh, I've been meaning to contact you.
Mm,
And that can be the trigger to get them
a
in your
gentle
diary.
reminder. That's good, Sarah.
Gentle reminder. That's exactly
Yep.
right. You can also set the recourse to go after if people did not attend or cancellation as well. So that can also provide a rebooking link for them as well. Okay. And this is just another way to get your diary full and
Mm, mm.
re-engage your past clients. I remember I used to print out a last attendances report and get my team to contact people, but I wouldn't have to do that anymore. I just set up the recall and it would just happen automatically. So
Yeah. And I
amazing.
used to do recalls for certain service types every 12 months as a gentle reminder. And people, if you send 10 out and you get two or three back, like you get 20 or 30% back, that's a good return on that recall. Send an email, send an SMS. It's really, really good to fill your diary, keeping your diary full.
Absolutely.
Okay, so look, that's really good, Sarah. So we've talked about four workflows that you can set up today, guys, in Nookle. Online bookings, you can take deposits, so they secure their spot. You've got client intake forms, you gather the information before they come in to save admin time. You've got your SMS reminder cadence. We're all busy, so make sure you send them enough reminders that they know that they've got appointments. And then finally, we just talked about the recalls and the waitlist function. So you've got four really awesome features in Nookle that you can use to fill your diary, make sure your occupancy is high, reduce your DNAs, and also save admin time. So that's really good.
Awesome.
Alrighty, so that's admin. Let's look at payments now. So remember we talked about those three workflows that we're talking about today. So the second part is making sure you guys get paid faster. You got the cash in the bank, and reduces the admin time of you chasing up invoices. So we've got things in Nookle that we're going to go through now that will help you with that. And also at the end of the month or whenever you do your reconciliation with your accounting software, it will help simplify that process. So we've got four workflows here that we can talk about. But why do we need to do this? Because often in my 23 years working in practice, invoices sometimes did go out late, so that took some time to get the money back into our account, and we used to have to manually chase them up. And often, as we said, the revenue arrives late. And there's double handling with our third party providers, and then the reconciliation becomes a headache. So, if we can automate a lot of those procedures, that's really, really handy.
All right. Let's talk about that first workflow, and that's automated invoicing. And Darren and I did run through this in our product showcase at the end of last year. But this is a new tool that we will be releasing very soon, very, very soon, that will enable you to automate some of your invoicing. And when I mean automate, like you do not have to touch anything. So, what you will be able to do is set schedule invoices to be generated for certain services, uninvoiced bookings, where the invoice will be generated and can be sent to either the client to pay or the third party to pay. We know that not everyone's comfortable with just scheduling that schedule set and forget. So you can run this process manually as well, where you just generate a list of all uninvoiced bookings and then send it out in bulk to your payers as well. And included in this invoice automation tool is the ability to set up invoice reminders as well. So looking to automate that chasing up of your aging debts. Yeah. So if an invoice hasn't been paid within whatever you decide that to be, it might be 6 weeks, 1 month, might be 2 months, whatever that is, you can then set that reminder to go out to either the payer is listed or the client is listed as well. And so,
So,
yeah, you
sorry,
go,
Sarah.
Darren. No, you
I was
go.
just going to say, I just saw one of the questions pop up. So, we will have it on the Innovation Hub within the next week, I'm happy to say. So, you'll be able to turn it on and test it then.
Yeah. So yes, that's exactly right, which is really exciting. So
Yeah.
so that's absolute game changer for
It's a
someone
game changer. Yeah.
who
It's
sees
really
a
good.
lot of third party clients, especially, right? So you see a lot of third party clients, this will 100% reduce your
And
admin.
And I
Yeah.
think that if you set up the reminders correctly in terms of templates and timing, it will make your life so much easier because the list instead of being 100 long might only be 10, and that's a
Mm,
lot. Like it'll really help you because then if you constantly gently remind the third party payers or your insurance companies, hey, the invoice is still outstanding, 7, 14, 21, whatever cadence you want. they'll go, oh yeah, I need to pay that, and then the manual chase up's a lot less. So it's certainly something you guys will benefit from.
Yeah, and I think also what it can do, I know I speak to a lot of people where they're like, oh, I do my third party invoicing at the end of the week because they
Mm,
don't often have time during the day to be able to do that. Um, you can use this tool to get it done every day, right? At the end of the day, you
yeah,
wouldn't have
that's
to
good,
spend
Sarah.
very much time. You can get those invoices off to the third parties daily, and then you can get paid sooner. Yeah, or some people
Awesome.
leave it to the end of the month. Like it's all about getting that out as quickly as possible so you can get paid sooner.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's talk about online payments, pay by link, card on file, all of those things. So we are often being asked about whether Nookle can add credit card details to a client's profile. This is a way that you can have a communication with your clients that you'll charge their credit card at the end of a session. And when we release our patient portal, part of that tool will be able for you to be able to store your client's credit card details within the account. And so that enables you to do that. You don't have to have that friction at the end of a transaction, at the end of an
Mm,
appointment.
that's
If
good,
you're a
Sarah. Yeah.
solo practitioner and you don't have a lot of time between sessions, you can keep their card on file. The other options that are available is you can send out an invoice with a Stripe link or a Square link. If you're integrated with one of those platforms, you can send that out via SMS or email. A good option for people who offer telehealth services. So at the end of the consultation, they can send a pay by link email to their clients. They're not having to wait for them to do a bank transfer. And like we spoke about earlier,
Yeah,
larger
that's good.
deposits available for longer or high risk appointments. So this can result in faster collection of payments, fewer awkward conversations, and
Yeah.
more revenue collected
Yeah.
at the time of the.
And I think this is also really good for, after 5 o'clock, if the receptionist has gone home and you're still treating patients, this is a
Mm,
really good workflow that you should set up for those patients, after hours, which we do treat. I mean, I remember I used to stay back at the clinic till 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock some nights, and that taking the payment while the other patient's in the waiting room, hard work, right? Just send it out, take the next patient in, and you can keep going with the patient care, which is what we're all about.
yeah, and absolutely. I was only chatting with a clinic this week that was talking about that, how to
Yeah.
manage that after hours
Yeah.
payment. And this was definitely something we had a discussion about.
Yeah, that's good, Sarah.
So we're looking at workflows for claiming insurance, those type of things. We do support this across the regions that we are now in. So within Australia, for our Medicare, we've got our Medicare integration. Yes, there needs to be a little bit of manual work with regards to submitting that claim, but when payments occur, you'll see that in your Medicare/DVA report, and invoices are automatically reconciled for you.
Hmm.
Over in the UK, we've got our integration with Health Code, which enables our UK customers to facilitate that insurance
Insurance
billing.
payment. Yeah.
Yeah, and then in the US, we now have the ability to generate a super bill, which will allow cash-based businesses to provide the appropriate documentation so that their patients can send their invoices off to their insurers. What's really important in all of the insurance workflows is making sure that that case is set up correctly. And if you've got that case set up correctly, then you've got all of the relevant information automatically pulling into the invoice for you. Once that's put into the invoice for you, it's going to reduce the number of rejections that occurs, and often it's the rejections that take up a lot of the admin time. Yeah, so if you can reduce rejections, makes for easier reconciling, and you can just get paid as quickly as
Yeah.
possible.
It's about getting the payments. That's right.
All right, final step in this kind of invoice workflow is about reconciling, which we've touched on a little bit as we kind of go throughout, but it's important to close that loop. You've seen the client, you've invoiced them. Now we need to reconcile everything. So making sure that our team are doing daily transaction checks. So making sure that everything that's entered into Nookle is correct, so that then
Hmm.
when you do get to your bank reconciliation in your accounting software, that is going to be a really easy process. There's going to be no errors there. Making sure that you do, if you are using Xero as your accounting software, making sure that you've got Nookle connected with Xero. We have flexibility around what that connection looks like so that you can dictate the information that's synced over to Xero. And if your team have already done that daily transaction check, when you get that information over into your Xero account, the reconciling of your bank should be a relatively easy process.
A lot easier. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Our
Um,
invoice automation tool, and in fact, there's already a bulk invoicing tool in Nookle that will allow a bulk reconciliation of invoices to occur. So, say you get paid by a third party or a private person and they're paying in bulk for a number of sessions, you can go into that bulk invoicing tool, bring up all of those invoices in one go, tick them all, and just pay in one go. Yeah. So
yeah, that's good,
reducing
Sarah.
the need to go into each account to reconcile.
Yeah,
Um,
that's really good. So I guess you can see we've created another workflow. So second to our bookings workflow, we've got the payments. So you can see with the invoice, the automated invoicing, invoice generation will be easier. You'll get paid quicker because the system is doing up the follow-up for you. And then you've got your online payments, you pay by link. Great for when you don't have a receptionist or you're on your own or a sole practitioner. Send it out and then they can make the payment online. Obviously, you need the integration with that. Making sure that your third party setup is accurate so you get paid quicker. And finally, all of these three things will help with your end of month reconciliation. So, you'll be able to see where the money's coming in, what's not, what you've got to improve, and it'll give you really good information on work processes that you need to improve and less admin time. So I guess moving on. So part three, we're going to look at some reporting and some dashboards that you guys can use to help you with making the decisions that you need to make about improving your admin and bookings along with your payment automations.
yeah, and we've got a second poll for the
Yep,
day.
second poll. Sorry,
Um,
Sarah. Yeah, that was
so
on
that's all good. If
me.
everyone could fill that out, that would be amazing for us. Again, it's great for us to get some insights into
Absolutely.
you guys. But yeah, we've got this reporting dashboards. So why does reporting fail? Why does it sometimes seem so hard?
Mm,
Most clinics have so much data. Sometimes I don't have time. And we all know that. We don't have time, but maybe time is spent doing other tasks that we can automate. And data sits in too many places. No one agrees on the key metrics that you want to analyze and review to look at your business performance, to look at your team members' performance. Reports maybe are being reviewed too late and therefore become irrelevant, and you can't take action because it was from months ago.
right.
And so I think it's really important to sit down as a team, if you've got a team, or sit down by yourself, or maybe get a mentor or some accountant or whoever that is to work out what are the key metrics. We don't want too many because you can get analysis paralysis. Like, what are the key metrics that you can use to analyze the health of your business? Yeah. And we have a lot of metrics within Nookle. And what we are is some examples, and what we are also developing for you guys is a new customizable dashboard that will allow you to build your own dashboard metrics for the
Yeah.
metrics that are relevant to your business.
And also be able to schedule it to get it at a timely fashion that's right for you guys. So I think one of the most important things Sarah just said that just before she moves on is that make sure that the data's there, guys. The cadence of when you meet, like, or when you look at the data should be regular. It should be happening at the same time every month. So then you can see the trends of what's changing over time. So that's really important as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And having easy access to that
Mm.
data and automate that access to that data. And that's what we're looking at implementing for you. Some key dashboards that can be used is your utilization versus your capacity. How busy are your therapists?
Hmm.
Um, is there is everyone so busy that you need to hire someone else?
Right. And do you have the capacity to take on new work. If you
Yeah.
don't, maybe you've got to think about hiring someone. So, what's the utilization, and do you have the capacity to actually take on new work? That's important.
Yeah, definitely. And also looking across therapists, do you have
Right,
some therapists that are
right.
consistently highly utilized and then maybe one or two that are not? And that, along with a few other key metrics, can help build a picture on clinical performance and might indicate that some mentoring is needed.
That's right, Sarah.
Looking at revenue, obviously, that's why you guys are in business, is to help people, but also you need to pay for things. So you need to make some money. So looking at revenue over time is really important. Referrals and growth. I don't think it's something that a lot of people look at. It's really important that the right information is being entered into the right area in Nookle for this report to work really well. So in case you don't know, when you're setting up a client's case, there is an area there for you to enter referral information. It's on the left-hand side. If you enter the referral information, like how did they come to you? Was it a
Mm,
GP? Enter the GP details. Was it a family member or a friend who's already a client? Link that there, right? Was it an online campaign? You can enter that information in as well. Once you've got that information in there, it's going to pull into our referral reports. You've got two of them, and then you can analyze where your business is coming from, and we'll be able to produce that automatically for you.
and you'll be able to build this yourself, guys, in time. And just going back to Sarah's number two, the revenue and the collections,
Yes.
we talked about the automation of invoices before. Your revenue's coming in, but are you collecting the revenue on time as well? So you want to look at your aging debts and that sort of automation as well.
Yeah, and then looking at some KPIs around client retention, your like case visit average and client visit average and those type of thing. How often are your therapists getting your clients back in per episode of care? And you might have some metrics around those.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good. So,
Um,
sorry, Sarah.
you go.
I was just going to say, so we talked a little bit about, we've talked about two workflows, and then we're talking about the reporting workflow. It's really important that you spend at least a minimum of 30 minutes every month looking at the metrics. And I would say four or five major metrics. We've just given you four recommendations that are good, that give you a holistic view of what's going on in your clinic. But take 30 minutes once a month and go, well, what's changed this month compared to last month? Is there a big fluctuation in, for example, the collections? Is the aging debt up high? So why is that? One of my major source of referrers hasn't paid me for 30 days. And then what action do you need to take? Okay, I need to contact them earlier to make sure the payments, if they're outstanding after 7 days, let's get get the invoices off to them again. And you need to really decide who owns it, depending on the size of your clinic. And then I would say review it monthly. Like I said, every month you want to do 30 minutes at a minimum.
Absolutely.
So
Some real world examples here. High no-show rate. Let's look at what is that automatic communication happening
yeah,
around your
yeah.
consultations. Tighten it, review it. What's the messaging? Is it too complicated? Is there not enough? Review your policies around this.
Right. Are you sending out reminders 48 hours before an appointment, and everyone's in that 24 period? Are they just forgetting? So what you need to do is look at, maybe changing that 48 to 24 and maybe doing a same day reminder. If you're finding that you've got a high degree of no-shows, practically speaking, look at when your SMS and email reminders are going out and go, okay, why is that? Why am I getting that? Can I do anything different to remind the patients to come in?
Low occupancy.
Right.
Obviously, there can be some stuff around staff performance, but maybe also let's look at recalls. Let's implement recalls. Let's automate that process.
Correct.
Can you review areas where maybe there is that low occupancy and can you encourage people to come into those times a little bit more
Have a
potentially?
look at your service list and go, okay, what are my services? Is it the initials? Is it the follow-ups? Is it a certain service type? And you can build a recall around a specific service in Nookle that will help increase your occupancy. You can be that specific if you want to. And this should help to increase your occupancy or getting people more aware of your clinic again. That's really what you wanted to do. Then, as Sarah said, you need the staff. to follow it up as well. There's two parts to that.
Yeah, definitely. And it's important to understand that all of that communication automation is completely customizable. So you can have
That's
different
right.
messages
Yeah, it's
for
good.
different types of services for different providers if you wanted to go that granular. Yeah. So
That's right.
it's
You
not a
can
one
do.
size fits all. You might be like, I only want to do recalls for these type of services. No problem. You can set those up. Yeah. Same with your confirmations. Maybe you
Right.
only want these type of services to have an appointment confirmation. Totally fine. Link the confirmation to those type of services.
And remember, when you've set this workflow up, it follows through. So spending the time to set it up initially will give you the benefit years down the track.
Yeah, definitely. We've spoken, a fair bit about the slow collection, so adding payment links, in
Absolutely.
increasing collection timing, have those invoice reminders set ready to go.
Yeah.
Um,
I couldn't recommend enough putting the deposits on your online
yeah,
bookings and having the payment links, because then that covers two areas of your business, after hours and also allowing patients to secure their spot. So that's a really big part. And then again, with third parties, you want to be able to add payment links for them.
Looking at like that weak referral source, if you
Yeah.
have that information about where your new clients are coming from, you might have something that you're paying, a form of advertising that you're paying a lot of money for. If you can track those referrals and you realize that you're not getting return on investment, either your messaging isn't correct or
Hmm.
you need to change that channel, right? But you're not going to know unless that information is entered into Nookle properly. And then we can pull that into those reporting for you.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
And then, yeah, drop in follow ups, potentially look at recalls and some treatment plan communication
Comms,
as
yeah,
well.
definitely. Which is important in the consult. So, you know,
Yeah.
bit of a summary, four automations that you can use for your reporting. Build some simple dashboards based on your clinic. Make sure you schedule them to go out when you want them. Review them once a month, at least at a minimum of 30 minutes, and then look at the trends over time and take action on one. Because you're getting better visibility. You might not be able to change them all, but take action on one over a 3 month period. It's like, okay, my aging debt ratio, my debt to revenue ratio is 35%. So I want to I want to decrease that to 25% over the next 3 months, something like that, looking at your ratios and the trends. And then you can go, okay, in 3 months, my outstanding debt is down to 25% of my revenue. Let's make it 20% for the next 3 months. Things like that. One thing that you can action based on the data.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so what to look at first? And it's kind of the order that we've gone through. Let's look for lower hanging fruit to start with,
Yeah.
bookings and reminders. Like that's something you can go away today. Do an audit of your online booking platform. Are you happy with who's available, the services that are available, your cancellation window, your lead in
Policies.
time,
Yep.
policies, procedures, how people receive their confirmations, all of the above. And
Yep.
then look at your appointment reminders. Are they set as you want them to? Is the messaging clear? Do you have confirmation set up? And
Is
then
your
take
cadence.
yeah, is the
And your
cadence
cadence is
correct?
the cadence, because that's the biggest thing. We're so busy that the cadence is important.
Yeah, definitely. And do you have recalls? Do you want to set up a recall and test it? Let's see, is that a useful tool for you? And then we look at payments and collections, and there's a
Yeah,
few messages I can see coming through about online payments, and we will get to those.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but when we release the invoice automation tool, go in and have a look. Look at the value, and depending on obviously the clients that you see, but it's definitely worthwhile looking at that functionality. And is there ways that you can automate at least some of your invoicing and the following up of those unpaid invoices?
And also, I would also recommend having online payments. I think
Yeah.
that's really important.
And actually, if we go back to that first point, I'd probably add take a dive into the client forms as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
begin
right,
to set
Sarah.
that up. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know it can sometimes, if you don't have a digital intake form yet, it can be a little bit scary. Each time you book an appointment with a GP or something like that, they're sending digital intake forms. It's definitely time
Yeah.
that Allied Health are doing
It's the
exactly the
future.
same.
That's right,
Yeah,
Sarah.
exactly. And then, over time, let's think about those key metrics. And when we release those customizable dashboards, you'll be able to implement that as well. But it's good to start thinking about what are the key metrics that you want to measure and how can Nookle provide those to you.
And I think the most important thing is pick four or five and
Yeah.
then review them for 30 minutes once a month.
Yeah, definitely. So what does good look like? Less pressure on the front desk. That's what we want, right? We want
That's
our
right.
admin team to not be worried about kind of menial tasks and they can focus on more meaningful tasks. Yeah.
And Sarah, a good example of that is client intake forms. The information is coming directly into Knuckle. Again, that bypasses the pressure on the front desk. So that's a really good example of something that I would set up, early.
Yeah. You see fewer no-shows, those preventable no-shows. Money in the bank is coming
Yep.
along faster because you're getting those invoices out faster, you're getting payment links out faster to people. Better visibility with the reporting, and then you can make clear business decisions.
And make sure you've got a set cadence of when you meet. That's really important.
Yeah,
That's good.
absolutely. So we've kind of been through how Noogle supports this, but just outlining it. So online bookings with your scheduling rules, reminders, intake forms, recalls, admin, workflows. Yeah, your invoicing and payment, automation, finance processes. Really set those in stone. And then the reporting with better dashboard visibility coming soon. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good.
All right, so next steps. So from here, in a minute, we're going to answer some questions that have come through. You will receive an email after today with a link to watch the webinar again on demand. We're also going to put a couple of links into our blogs. We've written some blogs about the topics that we've spoken about today. If you're not a Noogle customer and this interests you, we have a free 30-day trial. All you have to do is head to our website, and then I'm happy to engage with you and talk you through these processes as well.
And there is a link to the free trial in the chat if you want to use that as well, guys.
All right, question time.
I'm just having a look at them, Sarah.
Yeah, I've been seeing them pop up as we've been speaking. So, okay.
Probably need to I saw one there. We've been using Noogle for years, but never had online bookings activated. Is it difficult to introduce? No, not at all.
Sure.
There's a full support article on how to fill it out, and you just need to take probably an hour, follow the steps in the knowledge base article, and put the widget on your website, which is easy, or give it to your web hoster. It's actually really, really good to use, and will I have to give every client their own individual code? You can. The option is there, but you don't have to.
Yeah.
We do have a unique code for them in Noogle, which you can use, but you don't have to.
No. And important to know the person that was asking about how easy it is to set up the online bookings.
Mm.
When you go and find the knowledge base article, there's a video attached to it as well.
Oh,
It
that's
just
good.
walks you through. It's really easy to do. When you're in your Noogle account, go and hit help on the top right and then search online bookings in the help center. Yeah.
Yeah. And we got, can a deposit be linked to a certain appointment type?
Yes.
Yes, via service setup codes. That's right.
Yeah, so it's done. So where you set up the deposit feature is in the service setup. So what you need to, in order to take deposits, you need to be integrated with either Square, Stripe, or PayPal, and that's the platform that will power the taking of payment. And once you're integrated with one of those, if you go into your services, you'll see that an online option becomes available. You just tick online payments, and then your tick is required to make a booking, and then you have the opportunity to enter a deposit amount that you want to take for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
I mean,
Um,
you can take the whole amount if you want, and then you don't have to worry about anything. But not everyone wants to do that, so take a deposit.
yeah. Are there any development plans to add more customizable client forms within Noogle? Yes. If new clients forms is enabled via the Innovation Hub,
Mm.
is that right? Yep.
Yeah, definitely. So we've got a customizable client form template builder that is in our Innovation Hub at the moment. To access the Innovation Hub, head to Setup at the top. In the middle, down the bottom, you'll see Advanced, tick on the advanced tool. You'll then scroll down, toggle on Nookle's Innovation Hub, then press configure. And then that'll take you to our Innovation Hub, which is where we pre-release all of our new features. And
Yeah.
you can switch that on in there. And they're completely customizable in there. So
Yeah.
um, I do have a question here. Will there be an option for clients to rebook an appointment at the time of cancellation without having to start the booking process again? So the short answer is yes. That will be through our patient portal that we are releasing very soon. And so when a client has the patient portal active, they'll be able to view their appointments, and rather than cancel and reschedule, there'll be a move option for you. Yeah, and they'll be able to move that to another time.
Yeah, that's really good. Is there ability to use Power Automate to run things such as each morning, print out appointments? So you can already, I'm just having a look at number 10, Sarah.
Sorry, I've got a couple of lists happening.
So it's how can we store clients' credit card details? Well, that'll be coming in the client portal. Um, and can we?
And and on that, with that, so if you are looking to implement deposits and store credit cards, it needs to be Nooker needs to be integrated with Stripe. So that's the platform that we've been extending our integration with to allow that credit card storage. So if you're looking at it and starting from fresh, Stripe is the one for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Is there a way to make the booking link a short link or a button? Yes, you can have three types of link: a button, text link, or a URL. So that again, through the online bookings, you'll be able to see those options when you go through the steps.
I can see here there's just some feedback about the auto confirmation email that comes from the online bookings,
Yeah.
that the link for our client forms isn't super obvious. I'll definitely provide that feedback, and we'll see if there's a way that we can maybe move that up the page or something like that. So thank you for the feedback, and we'll definitely look into that for you.
All right. All right. We had a lot of questions. Maybe we'll just take a couple more, and then we can send out the recording to everyone after the fact. Sarah, have you got any there you want to look at?
I think there's a couple of questions around online payments and health insurers, yeah. And so I think it's important to address this. So the health insurers kind of control this process more than what we can. So when you're integrated with, say, Square, Stripe, or PayPal, you're not going to be able to facilitate an online payment or online claim for their health insurance. Yeah, you definitely can't do that before the consultation. After the consultation, you could use our integration with Tyro Health Online to take a claim, the health insurer claim for that client. Basically, you process that claim through Tyro Health Online, and your client gets sent a validation link to validate that they have attended the consultation. And so, yeah, so it's a little bit more challenging, but equally these days it's quite easy for clients to go and claim their health back through the online app or something like that if you did want to take full payment. But if you're looking for an online platform to take private health claiming, Tyro Health Online will integrate seamlessly with Nookle.
Okay, great. Um, okay, curious to know when the digital intake form, customer portal, and dashboards will be available, please. Well, dashboards are coming up in first, and then everything will be available May, June,
Digital
July.
intake forms are available now.
Yes,
Yeah.
they are available now, and then the other stuff will be coming within the next few months. Like we're still getting some penetration testing and what else done at the moment, so it is on the agenda.
And
And if you
yeah.
want to be tester, part of the testing group, contact us. We're happy to listen. We're happy to work with you. That's what we want.
Okay.
Well, I think that covers most of the questions, Sarah. And is there anything else that you can think outstanding?
There is a question here about how do we automate the wait list? Yeah.
That is on the agenda
Yeah.
for this. It's on the agenda. We've got some, I'm not going to talk about it now, but we're going to have some really cool features with AI included in that that's going to automate it for you to watch this space. That's what I
Yeah. So
probably
I
should
guess,
say.
yeah, that's exactly where I was going with that. Basically, it's on our radar, definitely to automate the wait list.
100%.
It's on our radar. We have had internal discussions, so
Yep.
it's definitely something that we're discussing, which is
Yep.
why, yeah. So
Definitely.
I think that that's yeah, it's definitely on our radar.
So I think that covers most of the questions. So we really appreciate you guys coming today. We will send out an email to everyone summarizing or giving you information about today with links to our blogs. And we really hope it's helped you.
We do have a little survey at the end. Again, just a couple of questions so we can continue to provide value, whether you enjoy the webinars or not, those type of
Yep.
things. So we'd really appreciate you guys completing the survey if you've got time. Thank you so much for attending today. And we definitely look forward to bringing you some more webinars in the future.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
See ya.